welcome to another episode of the DrawBizzle.
It's an abbreviation for what exactly?
It's an abbreviation for Draw Boys? I don't remember. It's DrawBomb. That's what it is. That's the show.
DrawBomb.
We're DrawBomb. We're the show where we draw things and then it frequently explodes in our face. That's the current tagline.
I'm committing to trying to get this tagline thing figured out last.
We're gonna get it. Yeah. It feels like a proper way to introduce a show is to say the name of the show, and then say a tagline. I don't know. It feels. I guess it's a formula that works for a reason.
I think you're the first one to ever do that.
Oh man! Wow. Well, more people should. Well, we don't actually have evidence if it works or not. So once the focus group gets back, we could let this be known to like everybody. This is the way.
Sell this information.
That's right.
$1.
Make a book deal. Brandon, how are you?
Yes, Ian. I'm pretty good.
Alrighty.
We are currently quarantined as Morgan has come down with the dreaded
Oh no.
coronavirus 19.
She did so good the first time when you had it, and then didn't get it.
This is the first time she's gotten it in all this time, which is pretty impressive, I would say.
Pretty good. She's been dodging those
I know
bullets
very
for a
few
while.
people. I know you've succeeded, but I know very few people who haven't gotten it yet. So.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I took a very risky trip to Philly, and for all I know, I probably caught it along the way. So,
Let's hope that's not the case.
yeah, I definitely hope not. I don't know. After a while, I was in Philly visiting a friend for his birthday, and that birthday was in a bar. And yeah, I don't know. I was in that bar for a while, so who knows?
How was the B day? How was Plead the Filth's B day?
It was good. It was a good time. I was very late for it because I misread the invite, and the end time was what I read as the start time for some reason.
Oh no.
Yeah, but that was only for the private event section of it, and Tyler said that he was pretty busy during all of that, so I really showed up when it was really just time for us to hang out and have drinks and talk with each other. So,
cool.
I missed out on free drinks essentially, so I could have been drunker for the whole scenario, but everyone else threw up apparently, like that I was crashing with. They all threw up, so I think I
Oh my god.
a bullet there too.
Wow. Yeah. That's crazy that happened to everybody. Everybody else was poisoned.
Everybody, but just like the people who were like there from at the party in the very beginning,
Got it.
they were.
It's still a high number.
A high number.
Pukers.
Yeah, I mean the drinks were at some point they were just like handing out shots and things like that. So
That'll do it.
That'll do it.
That'll get it done. But yeah, we're doing pretty good otherwise. She's handling it well.
How's she feeling?
Not too bad. Her fever already broke, so now she's just kind of feels a little cruddy, a little stuffed up.
Gotcha.
But she's doing pretty good. I think she's on the mend.
Good. Well, I'm glad that she's already on the mend. Tell her I hope she gets well soon. And I'm sorry she had to deal with that. And,
I've been swabbing my brain repeatedly, and so far, COVID-free over here.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Me too.
Yeah, it seems like an unpleasant thing to get.
Leviathan Den says, my favorite time of the worst day of the week. Well, you align with Garfield.
I was gonna say Garfield
not
is
a fan
also
of
a hater
Mondays.
of Mondays, yeah.
But personally, I don't. I enjoy Mondays. Leviathan Den also says, sounds like you're the real winner. Speaking of you not vomiting, so congratulations.
Oh yeah,
on that.
very true. I had a pretty decent weekend and I didn't do any vomiting, so overall I cannot complain. When I say I had a pretty decent weekend, that feels like it's underselling it. I had a great time. I mean, what am I gonna?
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that.
Thank you.
This is your first time back.
Yeah, that was my first time back in almost a year. I mean, it's a little under a year because I went the week after I visited you guys in Chicago, which was in July. But it's still pretty much, yeah, still pretty much been a year though. So I've basically what I've been telling people is like this is just about like a year, and I like my first time out of the house. Because it's true, the only other place I've been than this house in the last year has been the beer store down the street, so.
Well, you're gonna go somewhere.
Be there.
Yeah. Narrow down to your priorities.
Absolutely. But yeah, you know, oh, you're home already. I sure am. I'm home. I'm back. Wasn't gonna miss out on an episode of DrawBomb. Actually, I totally would have, but I just didn't. You know, I didn't want to be there for much longer. It was like the start of the work week, so people's lives are gonna be all busy again. I thought you were gonna stay for your birthday.
Are we certain that you're? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, Baba Rocket also said I thought you were gonna stay for your birthday too. Yeah, but I decided nah. I decided.
Are we certain you're actually back? Are we sure that's not a green screened room behind you?
I'm
Interact
actually
with something back there. Go ahead and like break that window and like punch a hole in the drywall.
That's the sound of me fucking with a hologram. Because it's like that scene from Total Recall where Arnold Schwarzenegger turns into the hologram so that he can like fight those dudes in that big room.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing right now. There's like 3 dudes.
I'm over here.
Just kidding.
Something
This
like
is
that.
the real me. Brrr.
Yeah.
Great scene. But yeah, the real me is over there like judo fighting like a bunch of ninjas.
What'd you do to piss off all those ninjas?
No, I'm the hologram. What do I know? Just a hologram, okay? Get off my case.
What's Tupac like? Tupac's hologram like in real life?
Oh yeah. He's pretty chill.
I just assume all you holograms hang out with each other.
Yeah. I hang out with the Tupac hologram and the gorillas. He's pretty chill. What was that?
Are the gorillas doing holograms?
They did holograms way back in like the Demon days. Or maybe it was like right after Plastic Beach.
I know they had like a screen, I just didn't realize they did that.
Yeah, it was like the screen was there so like the performers could like perform next to the holograms or something like that. I don't remember the exact. I mean, I never saw them live, so I don't know.
They're coming to my city soon, but it's too expensive. So I was like, nah.
I'd love to see the gorillas, but maybe someday. Maybe someday. Well, gosh, Brandon, you didn't go anywhere, but did you see things? Did you watch things? Did you play things? Did you do things? Let's do the weekly art update where we talk about the various pop culture things we've played and done.
I watched Beavis and Butthead. I don't want to swear, so.
Oh man, I tried to clickbait the stream title with the name of the movie that we were going to talk about that we both saw, and Twitch was like, you can't use that word.
Which has values and morals.
I guess. When it's, sometimes. But yeah, so we watched the new Beavis and Butthead movie. And tell us your thoughts on it, Brandon. Tell us your thoughts, because I watched it and then I recommended it to you to watch it.
Yeah. So I was wanting to watch it regardless
Same.
of your recommendation, but I feel like you can be sometimes a tough one to please when it comes to stuff. So the fact that you liked it sold it a little bit, and I think it had pretty good ratings on like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff.
Oh, good.
But
I was curious how it's been like faring critically.
I liked it quite a bit. I feel like it feels like it should. Like I feel like a lot of times when something comes out long after source material or the last iteration, it tends to feel like a whole different group of people made it, and oftentimes it is because of that reason.
Yeah.
Or that has something to do with it. But I thought it felt very much like everything else they've done. I thought there's tons of parallels with the first movie.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
Aside from this one being a little more like crazy, like in like scope, and what happens to them, this one pretty much is the same plot as the first one. Like,
yeah, it's exactly
and
the
the
same
whole
plot.
TV show too. They're always just trying to get laid, and then they get into like trouble because of it.
Yeah, the whole
dumb, clueless, stumbling through it all.
Yeah, like the whole. I mean, I'm not gonna I don't want to spoil too much about the plot because kind of like telling the main premise, is a bit of a spoiler. Like it's not like a crazy spoiler, but it is a little bit. So like, I think it feels like you're kind of watching a classic episode because they just kind of do the classic Beavis and Butthead formula, which still works, where it's two bumbling idiots and they're doing their thing, being dumbasses, and then a bunch of people just happen to catch them at the wrong time and think like, oh my god, these boys are geniuses. And it obviously pans out very badly for people. It's a classic formula. It's like it works, and they use it again for this movie, and once again it works. It's very funny. It felt like I was watching a classic episode, but yeah, they basically it's the classic Beavis and Butthead formula to describe why they're in the year 2020 and they're still looking like kids. And yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thought it was great. Yeah, so I recommend it.
Highly recommended. I like that scene in the college where they were talking about the white privilege.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was particularly well done. I like the way that I liked when the white dude stepped in on the girl and was like, "Let me tell you about what white privilege is," and then the professor congratulates him, and it's a very it's a scene that sort of proves its own point, sort of situation.
Yeah, it as it being the two most out of touch dudes ever dealing with modern problems and things, they handled it in a good way. That
I thought they handled
the joke
it all...
was on the right people, not
yeah.
I feel like sometimes it's a touchy subject to talk about certain things that are touchy subjects, but as long as you're making the correct target for your punchline, then it's really good. And I think they did that well in a number of things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they that is another thing I was interested by, was the fact that especially for a lot of reboots are like, whoa, they gotta adapt to the new world, they get a cell phone, what is this crazy device? And the movie does all that, but instead of making a big deal about it, which I think a lot of reboot things do, it just sort of happens, and then the plot just immediately moves on from it. They don't dwell and be like, isn't it crazy that cell phones? It's yeah, no, we all have a fucking cell phone. It's wild. Yeah, okay. Have the characters move on and do the shit. We all, sure, it's fun to have a character from the 90s, go, wow, look at this thing. But so many, things that sort of do that same sort of arc are usually wow, we have to talk for 10 minutes about, all the things this phone does that we didn't have access to before. And we know. Heard it all. Phones are crazy. I know. So I'm glad that the movie still did that sort of thing. It had the characters kind of getting acquainted with these new technologies, but they handled it, I think, perfectly, especially for what Beavis and Butthead is.
The way they handled the cell phone thing was one of my favorite jokes of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was good stuff. I thought how they did a lot of things that a lot of other reboot / revival sort of things kind of fuck up in the process. And it was nice to see. I mean, Mike Judge, I don't think Mike Judge has ever missed. Silicon Valley, I guess, was his most recent thing that he's made beside this, I would have to say, right?
Yeah,
is it?
It was. Yeah.
And Silicon Valley is pretty fantastic.
He's doing a King of the Hill revival, so let's hope he keeps that momentum going.
Yeah, I mean, it seems Mike Judge, again, he hasn't missed yet. I don't think he's made anything. I haven't seen that, The Good Family, where it's the super hippy-dippy, the teacher from Beavis and Butthead, and, his whole sitcom that, didn't last very long.
It was supposed to be that actual guy?
I think so. I always thought so, but I've never confirmed, because I never watched it. But I've never seen that, so I can't tell if it's, good or not. So I can't speak to that, but otherwise, as far as I know, I don't think Mike Judge has missed. All this stuff he's made has been good, and has had a none of his stuff has ever felt. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. It's never felt like a soulless, oh god, here's another Mike Judge creation, just kind of cash in. He always seems to give a shit about making it right.
Yeah. So as Leviathan down in the chat said, it's literally the definition of if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
They do that well. They don't try to make it too instead of being this whole thing that's identifying that they're in a different time and all this stuff. It's more of just hey, they're still idiots.
Yeah.
Still will never learn anything.
Yeah, they will still. But what was interesting was, so yeah, one thing that I think is cool is that there's a lot of those revival things where I also feel like a character doesn't fit the character, you know, like a character that was doing one thing before, all of a sudden it has, because like, you know, it's a new person handling it. They don't have, I think, maybe the best idea, or maybe they thought like, well, something's got to happen, so they make this choice and it doesn't feel right. But this one, like the characters I don't think ever did anything that felt out of character, even though there's like a moment where they do get a little like real with each other. Like sort of towards the end of the movie, there's a moment where like Beavis and Butthead get real with each other, but it still never felt like it exited out of the realm of like, this is what Beavis and Butthead would do or say to each other. So that's a hard tightrope to walk, and I think they handled it really well.
Yeah, I guess the ultimate test of whether I can recommend it to you is if you like old Beavis and Butthead. Yes, you'll like this. If you didn't like that, this is not going to be some version of that you're going to like more. It's just more of the same stuff. So.
Yeah, Did you miss having a Beavis and Butthead that you haven't seen before? Well, here you go. Here's a movie of new Beavis and Butthead. It feels like old Beavis and Butthead. If you like that, you're gonna love it. I don't know. I love Beavis and Butthead. Also, I love this movie. I don't know if I'd love this movie. I really liked it though. I have to simmer on it to decide if I love it or not. You know, I feel like any movie. But
I had taken an edible, and that definitely made me really, really enjoy it.
That'll do it.
It's a good movie for that. I mean,
yeah.
One could argue it could help with most movies, but this specifically is just so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it.
I was pretty drunk and I was pretty high when I watched it, so that also that scans. But you know, still think it would be just like, I think if you like Beavis and Butthead and you aren't a partaker of the substances, I think you would still have a good time with it.
Oh, for sure.
It didn't. No, yeah. I think both of us are people who like, we don't take drugs to the degree or like for the purpose of completely like fucking us up. You know, I think we like take drugs to have a good time and chill, but we're not looking to like radically alter ourselves or our personalities or anything like that. Right. Like, I'm not trying to peek beyond the veil.
I did it so that I could go on a spiritual journey and then watch Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Well, Beavis and Butthead, you know, they do that. You were trying to recreate the scene with Rob Zombie from the first Beavis and Butthead movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked it. I actually. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna say the same stuff that I've said already. But go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. I say the same stuff I say all the time. Let you have a chance at it for once.
I was just gonna say again. I recommend it. So
yeah,
if you're a fan of the series, I think you'll be happy.
Very hearty recommendation. Shit, man, we clickbaited this title and we talked about the shit that we clickbaited in the very beginning. I think that's the opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Oh, you're supposed to wait till the end because now they're just gonna leave.
Yeah, they're just all going to be like, okay, well, I heard it, go home and watch the Beavis and Butthead movie. So let's talk about it for another 2 hours, right? No, I liked it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have any complaints even about it. I thought the animation was even like really good. Like, yeah, the animation looked like it fit old Beavis and Butthead, but it was clearly like they had budget, and it was like scenes with like Beavis and Butthead doing stuff looked really well animated.
Just like the first movie.
Yeah,
like
yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a cut above the show in quality.
And yeah. That was really good. Go fucking figure, right? You would think like of all the reboots that happened, if you told me like 10 years ago, oh yeah, there's gonna be a reboot of Beavis and Butthead in 2022, and it's gonna be pretty fucking good, I would be like, shut up.
I was expecting to. Not because of Mike Judge or anything, just because that's usually what happens with these kinds of projects, and I try not to get hurt, so I expect the worst.
Yeah. And this time it worked out for us.
You watch anything else or playing?
Yeah. So I watched a little. There's a couple things I watched I could talk about. I don't know if you have anything you want to jump in with too.
You go first.
Okay. The new season of Tuca and Birdie is out on HBO.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I guess it just dropped like yesterday or the day before or something like that. But I went to hang out with some of the folks I was crashing with, and we were like finding stuff to watch. and we saw that Tuca and Birdie was on HBO, and we were like, oh, did they just bring the first season over? And we checked, and nope, it was the new season. It is dropped.
Have you seen the first season in its entirety?
So actually, no. I know it's very good, and I want to see it because I liked the episode. I watched the first 3 episodes of season 2, and I liked those. But back when Tuca and Birdie first came out, I was dating my now ex, and we watched about like 30 seconds of the show, or I'd say like 2.5 minutes, and then she was like, I don't like this, and then we just didn't watch it. So never got a chance to come back around to it. But I wanted to.
I've give it another chance too, because I had a similar experience myself. I just watched the first episode, and I didn't think it was bad, but it just didn't like hook me.
Right.
But no show often does in the very first, like in the pilot. So I feel like that's not a fair judgment, and people seem to really love it. So
yeah,
I mean, it deserves more of a chance.
I mean, it got that. It got its second season just purely based on like fans being like, "Why is this fucking canceled? This is great." So that's a pretty big sign that it's probably something worthwhile.
I feel like I'll get around to it eventually, but I still haven't watched much or any of it.
From what I saw from season 2 though, and again I watched the first 3 or maybe 2. I want to say it was 3. No, I think it was just 2. But anyways, the show is interesting because it's kind of like, you know how BoJack Horseman is like this wacky world of animals and people and whatever, and then like they also like take all this wackiness and then like use it to kind of talk about real shit.
Yes.
Tuca and Birdie, very similar. Kind of like talking about it, BoJack Horseman's talking a lot about like mental health and like depression and things like that, and Tuca and Birdie is, from what I've seen, again, I'm speaking with 2 episode deep knowledge, but it's kind of talking about that sort of stuff being real. Like the first episode of the new season is about the main character trying to find a therapist, and so it's kind of like about that whole struggle and what she's like seeking therapy for, and like what does her sort of struggles with mental health, how does it affect the people around her, and things like that. So but like it does it all in a very charming and like metaphorical way with like a lot of visual imagery to kind of like it's not like when the character's like sad, they're not just like I'm depressed, they're like I'm a haunted house that needs fixing up, and then like they turn into a haunted house, and then there's like a whole sequence of events where somebody's inside the haunted house doing haunted house shit, so it's like that kind of show where they make a metaphor. Yeah, they get creative, and then they make a metaphor out of things that people actually deal with, and I like that. It's good.
Yeah. Is this the woman who made it, she used to work on BoJack, is that right?
I don't know for certain.
There's some connection because obviously the style and the everything are very similar.
Yeah, I think she did. I can't speak for certain though. I do know like there is a lot of similarities between this show and BoJack Horseman. I think she was a lead artist on it or something along those lines, or like a lead writer. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I did look up at one point a long time ago, and then I just obviously I didn't remember. But yeah, worth checking out.
Different animals, or are they all birds? I know I'm asking questions that aren't important.
No, it's okay. I mean, here's the thing. I think it's dependent because in the one episode, it would like a lot of the episodes, it's strictly birds. But then like the one episode, the main character's like trying to date a bunch of different people, and there's like birds, mostly birds, but then there's like the occasional like hyena or like something like that. Okay. And like in a similar and like, no, I guess I did see 3 episodes. What was the second about? No, it was 2 episodes. Anyways, second episode, they go to a place called like Plantopia or something like that, where it's a place like full of plant people. So it's kind of like a whatever they want at any time, and whatever helps the metaphor.
I don't think it's required to make rules for your show. I mean, sometimes rules help, but not necessarily when it's creative rules.
Yeah, for sure.
I watched a little bit of Peacemaker. Started it. I'm only like 2 episodes in, but it seems pretty interesting. I'm gonna keep watching it.
Is that the spin-off of
John
Suicide?
Cena show? That's
What?
It picks up right where the movie ends.
Okay.
Following John Cena's character.
Is it starring John? Is it a cartoon or is it actually starring John Cena?
It's live action. It has John Cena in it.
Okay. I wasn't sure because I know that they also made a cartoon spin-off of Suicide Squad as well. And The Boys.
I was gonna say I knew The Boys. I didn't know they did.
Yeah, I could be thinking of the Boys one and just conflating it with the Suicide Squad one for all I know.
But yeah, so seems pretty fun so far. It gives me kind of like, not exactly, but kind of like Ash versus Evil vibes. Like there's this one guy that's just kind of like an oaf who's like everybody needs him, but he's kind of dumb.
He's like the he's like the hero. The what's the word I'm looking for? The it's like you don't want to. Wow, I'm having a hard time finding the exact word I'm looking for. But he's the hero who doesn't want to be the hero.
Doesn't. I mean, no, he's actually cool at being the hero because he's like very full of himself and he thinks he's a superhero even though he's been like in prison for the last decade for straight up being like pretty much like a villain or a terrorist.
Right.
He's like this overly patriotic, like, or in his head he is guy. It's like he has a pet eagle that like hangs out with him named Eagly.
Of course.
So it's pretty fun. But yeah, he's not a good guy, but he thinks he is.
Okay.
But the part that
reluctant, that was the word I was thinking of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's not so reluctant, but the people who are working with him are like not psyched about it. They just know they need him to accomplish their mission.
Right. Do you recommend it?
I feel like I'm only 2 episodes in, so that's the same as you are with Tuca and Birdie. But yeah, I if you liked the movie Suicide Squad, you'll probably like this. My buddy who was convinced me to watch it was saying that he likes it better than the movie. So
interesting.
Give it a little time. Yeah, I feel about it.
Yeah, let us know. Keep us updated. We'll have this is going to be the Peacemaker watch with Brett, and check in next week, and we'll see how Peacemaker's doing. I watched one other thing that I can comment on for tonight. It's not new, so buckle up. But it's so there's this Muppet show that came out in like 2015. I don't know what it's called. I feel like every time they make a show for the Muppets, it's just called the Muppets.
Yeah, often is.
So this one's like a 2015 one, and it's interesting because it's like a little more adult than your standard The Muppets. Like they get drunk and like talk about like stuff, you know. But
death.
About like death. They talk about sex, talk about all that stuff. And they get drunk.
The Muppets are talking about the shit that I want to hear the Muppets talk about.
Right. But it's kind of like about like if oh, what color were you gonna make his shirt?
Go ahead, do that.
You like the salmon?
Love the salmon.
All right. But yeah, so like it's like if like in the show, Miss Piggy, she's hosting like her own late night show called Miss Piggy Tonight, or Up Late with Miss Piggy. And it's sort of like about the behind the scenes of them like trying to put the show together and the trials and tribulations and all. It's kind of like watching 30 Rock, but it's the Muppets.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty
kind of
good.
What the original Muppets was actually.
Yeah, but like they would usually focus, like there would be a focus on like then showing the sketches, you know, like there was still like the vignettes of the show, whereas this show will have like clips of like the Miss Piggy Tonight show, but they're almost always like for the purpose of the plot. Like the point of the show isn't to watch like Miss Piggy Tonight. The point of the show is like what's the shenanigans and the storylines of each episode. So I've been watching it and I like it. It's very funny. It's like classic Muppets humor, but you know, a little bit more adult, but not in a way where it feels like they're trying to be edgy. It just kind of feels like finally, like fucking the Muppets can drink a beer. I don't know, like it's kind of funny.
Well, the Muppets are probably, you know, they're over 21 now.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of the I've like in like the first 3 episodes that I watched, I came across like a bunch of memes that we have of the Muppets from that TV series. Like there's like the gif of Kermit going like, ooh, where he's like got his hand in his mouth and he's terrified. That's from that show. All those pictures of Pepe the Lobster in like the Rock getup with like the necklace and like the turtleneck, those are from that show. Yeah, and it's funny because like it's not even a joke, it's just what he wears. But yeah, I've been really liking it. It's a shame because like the show got canceled after the first season, so it's only like 16 episodes and then it's done. because I love the Muppets, and I'm always happy to see it. Like that. This was probably like the best iteration of the Muppets I've seen, aside from the first Muppet movie. Maybe the second too. I don't know. I like the first Muppet, the most recent Muppet movie, you know, with Jason Segel in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a sequel to it, which was like that sequel. Did you watch the sequel Muppet movie?
Oh no, I haven't watched the sequel, but I do know about it. Like an espionage type story or whatever.
Sort of, kind of, but yeah, a little bit. But it's also weird because like it's completely disconnected from the first movie. But it like starts right after the first.
Kind of like their other movies.
Yeah, but it also starts right after the first movie. Like it ends, like how the first movie ends is like Jason Segel and the I forget who the love interest is in that movie, the girlfriend.
Adam?
I think it was Amy Adams. Yeah. I was thinking like it's either Isla Fisher or it's Amy Adams, but it's Amy Adams. But yeah, like they're at the end of the movie, they're like waving to a crowd because like the Muppets have opened up their new theater. The new Muppet movie, like, or I guess not new anymore, but the sequel that came out ends with like they're standing behind stunt like body doubles of Jason Segel and Amy Adams as they wave, and then the Muppets just go and have their own adventure away from all that. Like they just act like the first movie never happened. So I'm not sure what that's about. But it's enjoyable. But it's just like that kind of. I found that strange. I was like, did y'all like?
They could have just skipped even mentioning the first movie. It would have been fine. Like, there's a lot of movies that I think are Muppet movies that you're supposed to be led to believe that it's just like, here's a production they made.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, it was a weird way to start the next movie, but I mean I still liked it because I like the Muppets. I'll fucking watch most things with them in it.
I'll fuck them up. Wait, what?
I'll fuck them. Well, which Muppet would you fuck?
I like that one band member that's like just has like lines for eyes and it's
oh like, hey man.
Yeah. Oh, or Dr. Teeth.
Gee willikers, man. You know, I'm an animal guy. You know, I will fuck animal.
Yeah, this should have been the
that would be the clickbait title of the episode.
The clickbait, yeah. Which Muppet would we?
Which Muppet would you fuck? No, I definitely wouldn't be able to put that as a Twitch title. If I couldn't put Butthead, I don't know if I'd be allowed to put what Muppet would you fuck.
You never know. I mean.
Yeah, watch that Muppet thing. If you have Disney Plus, go watch that fucking Muppet show I just talked about. I liked it, and I wish if a bunch of people watch it, Disney will be like, maybe we should make a new Muppet thing like this. I don't know.
Their 10th iteration of the Muppet Show.
Yeah, we've been needing one.
Yeah, seriously.
The most recent Muppet things I've watched, they did a Muppet Halloween thing for last year, but it wasn't very good. Felt weird. Like it was fine, but like Kermit's voice was strange, and like it was like
strange now.
Yeah,
it's a new voice.
I don't like it.
They fired the
Steve Whitmire.
They fired the guy who had been doing it for a long time for talking shit about Disney, I think.
Steve Whitmire. So the Muppet Show that I just talked about was the last thing Muppets that had original Kermit voice. And it, you know, his voice, you know, it's a classic voice. I don't know. It's a shame that they let him go. New Muppet voice I don't like. I'm not like mad that like, oh, it's changed, it's different. It doesn't sound like a good voice. I don't know. There's a charm to the classic Kermit voice. Like, you know, can you fault me for like having that voice for like 30 years and then being like this new one is not as good?
No, the new voice is bad. I'm with.
Okay. What I mean, because did you watch the Halloween thing, or what else has the new voice been featured in?
I've seen some examples of it on like YouTube. People like mentioning how. I don't know if it's actually all the voices throughout the years, and the new guy is.
Right. Yeah.
Go wrong.
Go wrong. Which is weird because like there are people all like they hire like nowadays when they want to hire like a person who's black to like replace the white voice actor who is voice acting like all the black people in like every cartoon for the last like however many years. They like find people on YouTube who can do like the voice perfectly. It's like, why didn't you hire somebody who does a better job of the voice?
Right. I don't know.
What was the reasoning behind this? I guess he had to find a guy who could also do a puppet thing. Like someone who can puppet.
I'm not sure that matters anymore, because I'm not sure it requires the puppeteer to be the one doing the voice anymore. Like,
yeah, but
they could very easily.
I'm not sure they could very easily, because like, the benefit of being the puppeteer and doing Kermit's voice is I can make the mouth move as I move my mouth, so it's kind of like,
In the Ninja Turtles movie, in the 90s, there were like martial artists in the suits, and then the guys doing the voices had puppets on their hands that they did while they talked, and it animatronic the head.
Yeah. So I guess you're right. You could do that way. Yeah, there are like I guess
robot Kermit.
But also that's harder though because like Kermit. Well, also the point of Kermit is like the flexibility of his mouth. Like if Kermit's like set, it goes like.
He emotes a lot with this.
Yeah. So you can't.
All right.
A little bit tougher. Look at that, folks. A healthy debate can still happen. So yeah, new Kermit, not a fan. Old Muppet Show that I just mentioned, I am a fan. And Tyler actually showed it to us because Tyler has been posting about Muppets constantly, and because he loves the Muppets as much as we do, I would say.
A little Muppet kick there.
Going on a Muppet kick. So like, and he has known about this show actually for a while, but for his birthday, I think this most recent birthday, or like maybe for Christmas. Either way, Tyler's girlfriend got him a mug. Like in the show, Miss Piggy has a Miss Piggy Tonight mug, or Up Late with Miss Piggy mug.
Okay.
And so his girlfriend got him that mug, has like a souvenir sort of.
That's fun.
Yeah. But I recommend it. Watch that Muppet thing. It's good. Watch the new Beavis and Butthead. It's good. Watch Peacemaker. It's good. Watch Tuca and Birdie. It's good. That's about everything.
Ready for watching DrawBomb? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, watch DrawBomb. It's bad. I'm the worst part of it. We also watched we watched Dumb and Dumber again.
Original?
Yeah, the original.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Oh, of course, absolutely. In fact, I loved it more.
Good movie.
Yeah, because we were there when when I was in Philly, I was supposed to leave actually yesterday night. Because I just, I like when I come to Philly, I'm crashing on people's couches, and I don't want to be like a burden and like ask somebody, "Can I crash on your couch for like a week?" Like that's.
Right.
I feel bad asking for even a day, even though everyone's like very accommodating. They're like, "Don't worry, of course, of course." I still feel like it feels assumptive to like be like, "Can I crash on your couch?" Like, I don't know. So.
You can crash on my couch.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. But I don't want to assume. But I was at my friend's. Oh, I have to. Now it's a threat. I can assume. But yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. No, but so I found out my second day in the city, or no, I found out when I was in Philly, like, hey, I'm gonna be staying here an extra day. So I asked them if I could crash on their couch again. So when I did finally, so I crashed on their couch, I crashed on Tyler's couch, then I went back to crashing on their couch. And when I crashed on their couch again, I got to their place, and they were like, we were thinking about watching Dumb and Dumber again. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Then we invited somebody, like one of their friends came over, who I hadn't met until that night, but very nice person. But they were like, I've never seen Dumb and Dumber all the way through. Whoa. I've only ever caught like snippets on Comedy Central here and there.
Found
we were like
an elusive unicorn.
Yeah. Because like the plan was like Dumb and Dumber was a backup, and if we couldn't find anything, we'd watch Dumb and Dumber. But if we could find something better that we wanted to watch that was newer, we would watch that. But then when that friend was like, I haven't seen it, we were like, well, fuck, we're watching Dumb and Dumber. So we did that, and then we capped the night off with an episode of Murder, She Wrote. It was good. The friends who I was staying with, they're big Murder, She Wrote fans now. They've just been watching all of it.
Ian, if you were staying with your grandparents, you can just say it. You don't.
How did you know? Man, I was smoking weed with my grandparents. But no, they've been saying like basically it's like comfort food. Like they put it on when they're about to go to sleep. It's such a gentle show that you know, and it is. It's a very gentle show. I'm not shitting
on them for like.
Oh, I know. I'm explaining Murder, She Wrote now. Yeah, I'm just explaining the show now, but it's very comfort food.
Did she solve the murder that episode?
You know what she did? It was actually kind of funny because she solved the murder, and then like the episode was over, and like the friends who I was staying with were like, "Wow, that was like the most straightforward episode yet." In terms of like the murder mystery.
Good quality.
Yeah.
You don't want your Murder, She Wrote straight and to the point, you know?
You don't want to have...
Life and Den just redeemed posture check. And hydrate. Wow.
Gosh. So let's do the hydrate in a moment. Like we're about to finish this. We'll take a break, and then I forgot to get a cup of water, but...
Well, I'll hydrate in the meantime.
Okay, and then I'll hydrate when we get back.
Fix your posture in the meantime. You're slouching.
My posture's good. I'm sitting straight up back. Sir.
All right.
And or madam.
You got like a goober in the front of your beam.
So goober on the what? What?
The goober in the way of your beam.
I do. Well, I'm trying to...
Where'd that goober come from? What layer is that goober on?
What was that goober layer? Find the goober.
Oh, found it. And now I will extract the goober.
Whoa. That was crazy to watch.
Like it never happened.
Damn, dog.
Yeah, not my first goober extraction that I've done.
Got rid of that goober.
I have very steady hands.
That's good. Women like that.
Do they?
I don't know. I'm not a woman.
I better go ask a woman.
Women don't really let me around them too much.
On account of my shaky hands.
Oh, yeah, I'm too shaky. It's nothing sexual. They just don't like it when your hands are all shaky. They're like, this is a weirdo.
Whoa. What's that doing over here?
What's he doing?
Life and Den says this beat is so nice. Which one is it?
I don't know.
We don't know.
We have to put the show on mute because otherwise...
In order to make the sound play the correct way and not be like doubled up and all that stuff.
We cannot hear the music.
Things.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we don't get to enjoy it.
No. So, I'm glad you like it. I hope you're enjoying.
Speaking of your music.
I was going to save that for the plug section.
Aha, I used that for plug earlier.
I did. Well, we used the clickbait earlier. Everything's out of whack here. What are we doing? Yeah. What did you... Anything you just said, you said away from the microphone. I didn't hear any of it. Okay, okay. Worthwhile addition to the conversation.
I thought so.
All right, you do gotta move. You gotta position your mic a little closer to like where you're eating it when you're drawing, because you do talk when you draw, and then we can't hear any of you.
Okay.
Yeah. It's also, you're using the same microphone I am, but it's pointing away from your mouth. It's a shotgun mic, so it does go all around. But if you're pointing it like, if the shotgun is pointing like away from you, it's
the front of the mic is in front.
Okay.
Front of the mic's on this side.
You're right. Yeah. It's just when you turn, and then it's away.
Yeah.
You know?
I gotta remember to talk into it.
I have mine set up so it's just pointed upward, like at like the, so if I go this way, I go that way. Still kind of, yeah. The hard part is that sounds so much clearer too. It's a microphone.
Just a little ASMR for all the people that are into that.
That's right. Do you like the ASMR? Because we got it. That's right, we got it for you.
Yes.
ASMR. All right, we gotta finish drawing here. I think, right? We good?
I think we do. I think this is good.
Got a decent draw boy here. Wait,
Save this.
One last thing. One last thing. Sometimes we do that.
Wow, 113.
113.
What do you know?
Made it this far.
All right, let me save this sucker, and then we'll take a little break. You get some water for hydration purposes.
That's right. You're ready.
All right, she's saved.
Saved already, and then put it over here. I was gonna during the break, I was gonna just try putting on an ad break because I know sometimes folks get ads at the beginning of the Twitch stream when they join in.
Right.
And that if you put on ads, it gets rid of them, but it won't let me do an ad break.
I'll have to look into that.
Oh, very interesting. But wow, that's for later. Anyways, guys, we'll be right back. The more DrawBomb for your ears and eyes, and our mouths and faces and hands. Okay.
All the parts.
Body parts. Bye.
All right.
Hey there. It's us again. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's another episode of DrawBomb, or it's the same episode of DrawBomb, but it's another episode.
It's another episode, you know, compared to last episode, but it's not another episode compared to this current episode in which you were already watching.
That is exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you so much.
I think it's good that I broke it down.
Yeah,
real quick, Belbo Rocket says I've never gotten an ad, so
good.
Somehow Belbo Rocket is circumventing
YouTube or Twitch's money making algorithm. Yeah.
So go ahead and get her.
Get him.
Twitch.
I've been experiencing something on Twitch, and I think it's a setting that people have been choosing because you get more money from it, obviously. We're gonna read the next comment in a moment, but a lot of Twitch streamers who I have who've been following, and some who are I'm not gonna say I'm friends with. That's a very parasocial, but like who recognize me when I come in the chat. They're like, oh hey, what's up? I played like some games with them, but anyways, I wouldn't say we're friends. I would say we're still Twitch acquaintances.
Okay.
Just to keep a healthy separation, you know. But anyways, what was I saying? It's about the ads.
Oh yeah.
The ads.
Okay.
I would jump in on people's Twitch streams, and I've been like, especially in the last 2 weeks, I would start to get ads every 25 minutes for like 3 minutes of ads. And on a Twitch stream, that fucking sucks because it's live, and like sometimes like they would be responding to like something I was asking or saying, and then the ad would pop up, and I'd be like, what the fuck? So it's a setting you can turn on though. I've looked into it because I was like, I hope that's not happening for us. It's a setting you can turn it on, and I think people just click it because they're like, I get ad money, but then your fucking stream is annoying as shit because it's 20 minutes. You have to watch 3 minutes of ads. So
I've seen different iterations. I've also seen ones where the person's like actual video is like picture in picture to it too. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, they do it picture in picture, but the actual Twitch stream gets silenced. Yeah, which is arguably important.
Will not do. Yeah, the sound is probably more important than the visual a lot of times.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a
like our show.
So important. the sound especially right now because we are doing absolutely nothing visually. So let's get to that part actually.
Right.
We've been talking about doing some more recreations or reinterpretations of art AI bots.
Yes, we were enjoying doing those last week.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the thread of those that I was using last time.
That was a particular Twitter account, right? That
I know. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Need to follow it, but whatever. In the meantime,
yeah. So I'm looking on the Midjourney Discord right now, which has been just an absolute wow. That's crazy. That one right there. I'm just, sometimes it's just fun to look through people's results because it's just weird to see this robot in action. Like someone's generating 3D models of like futuristic houses on like little tiny plots of land, and they're really good. It's pretty nuts.
Pretty wild.
So, but that's not a very fun thing for us to try. Do you think that would be fun to try and draw? I don't know how we could get very
futuristic house.
Just like it would basically be an architecture drawing, you know?
I don't know. I'm not.
It wouldn't be super fun, I don't think.
I don't think that's interesting. Too.
Yeah.
At least compared to our normal shtick.
Man, some of these prompts, and so this one is Mick Jagger throwing up and playing baseball. That's one of the prompts.
Simultaneously?
I guess so, yeah. Okay. That's not a Midjourney. Midjourney is making it look like he's hitting like the ball, but not with a bat, but just his hands.
Wow. I mean,
the very strange results.
Mick Jagger's good. You never know.
Pretty good, dude.
If I can draw that real quick.
Mick Jagger throwing up, playing baseball with?
Yeah.
Okay. Also, Isabel says the room is so dark you can barely tell that I cut my hair. And yeah, I did cut my hair.
It up, I figured you were going to want to be the one to do so. Or
yeah, well, I forget to bring up everything that happens. You know, it's all there's so much going on. Running a Twitch stream is hard work.
It truly is.
I guess I should zoom in, but yeah, I got a hair.
First haircut in how long?
Since Halloween night of October, obviously 2019. And I remember that specifically because I was very late to my hair appointment because work went far too long. And also, as I rode to my haircut appointment, I got to see the entire city basically in costume because it was like I had to ride from one end to the other. So I got to see like everyone dressed up in costume trick-or-treating, which included at one point crossing a traffic accident that had happened, and a woman dressed up as Harley Quinn was taking her two decorated baseball bats to look like they were Harley Quinn props, and she was using them as traffic pylons to like direct traffic around the crash, which is quite the visual, to say the least. Which might be a prompt, honestly, for Midjourney or something like that. I might draw that. Why not? I mean, actually, I shouldn't draw that because I know what I saw, and I would just draw what I saw. Well, I want you to draw it.
What if you punch it into Midjourney and then the actual visual that you saw that night appeared on the screen?
That would be fucking crazy.
We're in a simulation.
Oh my god, that would be proof. So I did see a Midjourney prompt in real life.
Maybe you're a Midjourney computer and you don't know it.
That would make the most sense of anything. There's a hyper-realistic alien DJ on a turntable with lights, like basically club DJ, and then setting up the parameters, and the results are pretty decent, man. Oh man, this person's also taken every variation and just running them. This person has a lot of money to burn.
I feel like if I was a Midjourney computer, people would be disappointed with the results that they keep getting from their prompts.
Yeah.
Like, why are they all discussing cartoons? That's not what I said before.
Man, these results are... I'm getting distracted now just watching the results come in. I gotta pick a prompt and stick with it.
There you go. I'm doing... Jagger vomiting.
I'm gonna do Alien DJ.
Alright.
Yeah, I like my... you know what? I have been focused on my face the entire time since we stopped talking about my hair. But yeah, I like my haircut. It's the problem with my haircut now is I forgot about this over the last 2.5 years. Is that it turns out when you have short hair, if you have cowlicks, you have to pay attention to those again.
Yep. Well, that's my life.
My fucking head is callus city. Not callus, calic. Calluses is way worse. That would be strange to have on my fucking head.
You have calluses all over your head? Gross. You should
it's
grow more hair to cover that up.
They were like, you gotta use a hammer, and I was like, no, I got a really strong head.
Back from your construction days?
I was hammering the boards in with my head. No, I have fucking cowlicks. Like, I got a cowlick here. Like, I got a cowlick on both sides of, like, where the head, like, where the shit meets the sides. Got cowlicks enough in the back that I could audition for Alfalfa and the Little Rascals.
Yeah. I have a big one right, like, at the back of my head where all the hair comes together and it just sticks straight up. I have to pretty much just use, like product to just keep it down. Yeah. Or otherwise I just have like this in the back of my head at all times. And my barber laughs at it every time. Like, I've never seen anything like this. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad you're having fun. Jerk.
Yeah. Pretty rude of him to say that. I did donate my hair. Actually, I haven't donated it yet. I have the hair in a bag.
You just got it in your pockets right now?
It's in a backpack, but I could pull out a big lock of hair right now.
How many channel points must they pay to see your bag of hair?
1,000. 100. 1,100.
1,100. Got it.
Yeah. It was funny because I met up with a friend after I got my haircut, and I was like, yeah, I got my haircut. He's like, I see that. That's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I got the bag of hair in my backpack. And he was like, that's enough.
Don't need more. I don't need to prove it to me. Yeah. I can see that there's less hair on your head.
And I explained then that I was donating it, but it was a very funny response. It was a very typical response of that person, though. They're a very eccentric individual, and this is exactly the response that they would say.
Looks good.
Thank you, I'm glad. Bell Rocket says, I have a curly cowlick right in front of where my hair parts, like one of those anime girl twists. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the cowlicks are just where the parts meet. And it's like your hair just went like, bleh! I could swear I read somewhere that if you like, they have a thing to fix the cowlicks where they like fucking zap your fucking head with like a little electric gun. And that spot. And that's like, that's too much, man. I'll just pomade it. I don't know.
Zap me.
Give me a zap.
Zap me. I want to be a normal person.
I want to look like a Hemsworth. But no, I like my short hair. I could feel like when in the 2 hours like leading up to the hair appointment that I had just set, because I like called and I made an appointment because I'm not rude, and they set me up for 2 hours later. I let them know I was trying to donate it, and they were very accommodating. They didn't have like a specific protocol or anything like that, but they did their best to sort of like do it right, and I really appreciated that. So I gave them a huge tip. But
give them the tip of your hair.
Yes,
Here you
exactly.
Go. I'll donate the rest. You keep this for yourself.
Here you go. But the entire lead up to the hair appointment, I could just feel the weight of the hair and like where it was at all. Like, I don't feel like I felt it as like, I've always been aware of the hair since it got long because it just became a pain in the ass. But the lead up to the hair appointment, I was so aware of it and everything it was doing, and I was just like, I'm so fucking ready for you to go. But then I had that moment. Like, right before she cut it, she was like, okay, here it goes. Like, she gave me a heads up. She's like, here it goes. And I like was like, oh boy. And then I felt it snip, and I was just like, wait. Not like actually out loud, but in my mind I was like, wait.
Yeah. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's what you're used to. And, you know, you put a lot of time into it.
Yeah.
I almost said effort, but I don't think that's fair.
A little bit. For sure effort, because it's so much more to shampoo, and like you shed all over the place.
You put effort into keeping it nice, but growing it doesn't really take much effort. That just kind of happens. Just
don't get it caught and shit.
Yeah, that's the main goal.
Stay away from tractors.
Yeah. Morgan, when I first met her, her hair was super duper long. She's cut it down a lot since, and each time she goes back, she cuts it more, and she's just like, this is so much more comfortable. She had like would get headaches and stuff from how long her hair was, and it was just
My
like
God.
an oven underneath her hair, like
Yep.
like 20 degrees hotter. So she,
Yeah.
was she's been happy to get it shorter. It looks good too.
I'm glad. I'm glad you like that, and I'm glad that she feels better with that, because if it's fucking comfortable, man, I don't know. There are people who like long hair. It ain't me. I liked trying it. It was like
I can say you did it.
Yeah, exactly. I've never had hair that looks not like my hair usually looks. Like I used to like. It used to be around this length, and I would style it different ways, and like this is probably the best I've done with it, aside from the fact that I'm out of pomade, so my cowlicks are just like going crazy right now. But you know, I've figured out over the last years of my life so far what looks good and what doesn't. And obviously it's going to be affected by the style of the times. But I never had a different haircut. It would, it would just be this, just swooshed different ways. But now I can say I had long hair. I still want to get a mohawk someday, just to say fuck it and get a mohawk for a while. That'd be fun.
Well, you can do that.
Yeah.
They're pretty in right now.
Yeah.
Although most of the ones that are in have like a mullet attached.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I have a very specific style of mohawk in mind.
Yeah. Kind of mohawk you thinking?
Fucking, like, I'm not gonna spike it up, but I'm just gonna have the mohawk. And then keep it like that for a little bit. Kind of play with it.
Do it right.
Yeah.
Do it right now on there.
Okay, let's do it. Let's cut this hair right now. I just got a haircut. Let's get another.
Do you mail your hair out for a donation?
I'm going to, yes. I'm gonna do some Googling to see if there's anything I need to do in preparation for mailing a human body part. Because I feel like there's probably some restrictions against that. Like, I feel like mailing your hair might set off some alarm bells in the mail postage system or something like that.
They do have hair sensors.
Yeah.
Built into the machine.
I mean, they haven't. I have to imagine that somebody X-rays the packages or some shit like that. Like, make sure you're not sending like bombs out and shit to people.
When you get to a place, they're like, do you have any, is there anything living or breakable? Blah, blah, blah. You're gonna be like, define
breakable.
Living.
Oh. Define living.
That's a scary thing to say.
That's the better one. That's the better. Define breakable. It's like, define breakable. I mean like glass or something. Oh yes, then yes, this is breakable. That's how that sketch ends.
God damn it, I hate myself.
We're gonna put a fragile sticker on this, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The machine that applies the fragile sticker is great. It's a big like stamp that comes down with
arm.
intense force.
Just smashes.
I feel
the
like
box.
that's been done in movies.
Yeah, that's got to be a joke. But like the fragile sticker specifically, this fragile sticker.
I feel like I'm seeing it in my head, like I've seen it before.
I don't think I've seen that specific joke. I feel like I've seen fragile things getting, like, I remember Ace Ventura starts with him kicking around a box with a fragile marker on it. That's like the whole joke is like he's fucking up the fragile. It's like making fun of the postal service, and sort of, or I think UPS maybe, and the fragile box is getting kicked around before you realize that this is Ace Ventura right here. I know that in Christmas Story the guy goes fragile must mean be Italian or something, but I don't know if I've ever seen a fragile sticker arm mechanism like crush a box and ruin the package.
I feel like I have.
I don't know.
I feel like I have. I'm picturing in my head.
I believe you because you've seen more things than I have, I think. I've seen a lot of stuff. I think you have still seen more.
I'm not going to search for what that might be right now, but for anybody else, that rings a bell for anybody else.
That fragile sticker rings a fragile. Fragile. Down in Fragile
Double
Rock.
Rock says, I used your shampoo while you were in Philly. Very nice. So there you go. Got a review on your shampoo. High quality.
Good shampoo.
From a shampoo thief. In the flesh.
That's right.
My hair is not long, maybe a bit less than shoulder length, too short to ponytail, and it's hot. It's hot. It's like a hot helmet. Yeah, it seems to hold temperature in very well, which I think is kind of the point of hair. So
it's the mechanism of hair.
That makes sense. Yeah, that's the evolutionary purpose of it, I think.
Which is weird because it's just your dead skin. It's just dead skin that just fucking grew and like stacked on itself. It's weird that it's also got
just dead skin. What?
Like just dead skin that because like it comes from your.
This can't be correct.
Comes from your head. It's just dead skin cells that like congeal together.
I don't think that's true. You have follicles. You have holes in your head where hair grows out of.
Yeah, that's like where the deposits of dead skin like group up and get mashed together into hair.
Oh my god, I hope that's not accurate. But
Why?
I don't know enough about hair.
I don't know enough about hair. I've always just thought
I think
like
it's
that's.
like. Do you also think fingernails are dead skin?
Yes.
Oh my god.
You can see your finger. Right. You can see where your finger, like, I mean, your body is growing more fingernail. Like, what are they hoofs? Like, hoofs are kind of.
Yeah, basically,
like,
hoofs are fingernails. Actually.
Yeah, but aren't hoofs just more dead skin? Just like different. Like, I don't know shit about like body. Like, I mean, this is just sort of.
Clearly, you do not.
This is just sort of what I've been going. Like, I'm not saying like they're only dead skin. Like, there's obviously different like chemicals, like oil. Like your hair has oils and stuff in it. Like, there's different chemicals that go in it. But like one of the base components of it is like your dead skin, just because being used by your body.
You got these pores that grow out hairs, and there's a follicle, and that's like the root, and it continues to grow from there. And if you like kill that follicle over and over and over, it will stop growing hair there.
Right, but none of those words are what hair is made of specifically, just where hair comes from.
Okay.
What is hair made of?
Sorry, I'm Googling that now.
I'm not like, look, here's the thing.
Stacked up dead skin.
I'm totally willing to be proven wrong. Like, I'm not saying
hair is made of a tough protein called keratin. A hair follicle anchors each hair to the skin. The hair bulb forms the base of the hair follicle. In the hair bulb, living cells divide and grow to build the hair shaft.
Hair shaft.
So God, top question on that page is hair dead skin? So you're not alone, Ian. There's other people.
So, you know what? I probably had a shitty teacher at one point just be like, your hair is dead skin. And I'd fucking just never question that for the rest of my life.
So your hair has dead cells in it, but it's not skin cells.
Okay.
Because once the hair is at the skin surface, the cells within the strand of hair aren't alive anymore. The hair you see on every part of your body contains dead cells.
Yeah. Dead cells.
It's not skin.
Not dead skin
cells.
But dead cells. Okay. So yeah. That I mean, I'm not. I was wrong.
The den says fingernails are keratin as well. So it's hair and fingernails are the same thing.
Yeah, hair and fingernails. Well, okay. So here's the thing. I was wrong about what it was made of. I was right that it was dead, and I was right that hair and fingernails are made of the same stuff. But I was wrong overall.
Too much
I was
credit
wrong overall.
We're having yes.
I did guess that hair and fingernails are the same thing. I did say that. That was correct.
Yeah, but in guessing they were the same thing, you were saying that
they're both wrong.
Skin.
But they're both dead cells. Look, I was wrong. I'm just happy that I guessed right and that hair and fingernails were the same thing. I'm glad I wasn't wrong about that. I am more than happy to admit I was 100% wrong.
I'm happy you were wrong because the other idea sounded way grosser, and I couldn't live that way anymore. I'd have to go shave my head and be pure. Oh god, that sounds bad. That sounds like a neo-Nazi type thing. No. I just don't want dead skin stacks on my head.
I mean, okay. I mean, it's not. It's your body.
I know, but
you know your body's been. Are you rubbing your hair through? Like, are you rubbing your head through piles of shit?
Yes. Yes. I like that Elbow Rocket is using the public forum of the Twitch chat to just talk shit about her own hair. Now she just said my hair is greasy, and this is after she talked about being a hot helmet and saying that
just black. Your hair is gonna be so mad at you.
Yeah.
He's gonna be pissed.
Oh, so here's something cool. I think we'll be able to see it on stream. I was out in the sun this weekend, and I got burnt, and I was wearing this hat in the exact way that I'm wearing it now. So check this out. A nice, perfect burn. Goes like a little line. I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but there's like you can't really see it that much, I guess. But in person, it's like my skin is pink and then just goes pale, and it's like a perfect clean line. So yeah, that's a cool tan.
That's a pretty wild tan. I mean, I've never seen. I mean, I've heard of hat tans, but that's like such a subtle hat tan.
It's not as subtle in person. The camera's just not picking it up. But I see what my camera looks like on the stream, and it doesn't really. You can't really tell that much. But in person, it looks pretty stupid. So that's fun.
That's pretty wild, dude. Sorry, I was a little distracted. Bubba Rocco was asking about quotes, and then our quote system was being weird, so I was trying to fix that situation. But do you have a hat tan on your head?
I have a hat tan. I do.
And it's just it's just like this little line right here. It's just this.
It's straight up like where the hat is right now. It's just pale above that because my hair has receded to the point where it goes. The head goes a bit further
than the hat.
Yeah.
So that's a goofy tan, though. I mean, look, I'm gonna say it right now. That shit is goofy.
Yeah.
You're gonna look weird if you don't wear a hat now. You have to keep the hat going, which is just gonna exacerbate the situation because you're gonna keep. I'm
going to get a ski mask and cut just the top of it off, and then I'm gonna go outside and get a burn at the top part, and it will all be even.
You just need a burn. You need to like just snip a little strip out of like a balaclava.
Exactly.
Or just like paint that part of your skin with paint, like just pink.
That's even better idea. I'm gonna do that.
That's easier. That's the easiest one, I think, by far.
It'll be fine. No one will ever notice my.
Nothing could go wrong.
It'll probably still be on my head for like a year now. I get burnt once and then it just stays.
I'm very fortunate. If I burn, it just turns into a tan, and then I move on. It might,
but it's gonna be a weird tan line.
It's gonna be a weird tan line, yeah. I mean, I don't try and get burnt. It won't
just stay a burn.
Trust me on that.
I rarely get. I'm usually pretty pale because I don't usually get burnt or get.
I used to kind of like let myself burn and stuff if I was like sitting out in the sun and tan and stuff like that, but I decided, nah, I don't want to look like leather. I don't want to be a leather purse by the time I'm an older person, so I'm gonna cut that shit out.
Probably smart.
Take better care of my skin. That's called growth.
Plus, I've read some things like people who
cancer.
I mean, I think tans look nice and all, but like I think people who get tans for like so that they're more durable to the sun. That's kind of a myth. They say it buys you like 10 minutes, even if you're like fully tanned. Van Pleb showed up, joined the chat just to say that's like a redneck tan. Yeah, I know. Thanks a lot. I'm not proud of it. Also, I think I'm still zoomed in. Double Rocket says,
I'm so sorry. You're absolutely right.
You must put suntan lotion on your egg, Brandon. I did put suntan lotion on my egg, but the top, it's still burnt. I was in the pool, and, you know, it washed off, I think. I reapplied. I did the stuff, but it didn't work. Didn't work.
Gosh darn it.
I'm normally like the guy that's like doing it way too much. Not way too much, but like I'm the guy that's just constantly like putting sunscreen on over and over and over. And I tried, but it just exactly.
Is it like you're like reapplying, like you get in the pool, you get out, you reapply, you get in the pool, like the pool starts to like smell like coconut by the time you're done with it?
Exactly, it's a coconut pool. Yeah, usually that's me, because I hate getting burnt.
I feel you. I don't like it. Not a fan. It sucks because like it makes showers hurt more too. Like aside from everything hurting, like showers are a pain. Like you have to like just shower in the cold water because you know it hurts so much.
True, but I just don't shower anymore. I will say, what will I say? What was I gonna say?
I don't know. I wish I could. I don't even know if I got context for your sentence. I wish I could help you.
Skin hurting thing.
Sorry.
That's okay.
You're talking about suntan lotion. What are you talking about?
It doesn't matter. If it comes back.
Yeah.
Belbo Rocket says, wish your brother would put suntan lotion on his egg. He plunks himself down in the sun and bakes like a cookie.
Yeah, I used to sort of do the same thing, but I decided nah.
Yeah, my brother also kind of does that. Not me though.
It's the better way to not do that because you don't turn into a wallet.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. It must have been like difficult being a person like a long time ago. The sun has always been the thing.
Yeah.
You just like have to avoid going outside.
Well, the sun wasn't.
Walk around burnt.
The sun wasn't always as poisonous because of like
maybe not as intense, but you would still get still get burnt on a sunny day.
Yeah, I think yeah, I mean you also didn't live till you were like past 40 anyway, so
right.
You were just it all around seemed like it just sucked. Not that today is very great either, but in general it.
You step outside, you're like, whoa, this is really hot. I'm burning. I need to drink the water. You drink out of the river. Die of diarrhea.
Buries you.
At the age of 30.
Yeah. You die of diarrhea because you drank the river wrong.
And that's what life was like back then. Belbo Rocket says, unfortunately, that sunscreen feels greasy and gross. Smells okay, but it's very much an outdoor smell. It's kind of like chemically smelling, which I hate.
Yeah.
I feel like they've been improving on that a little bit better. There are some sunscreens that I've used that are a little bit more like could be just like a normal lotion you put on yourself.
Yeah, I feel like once they figured out how to do the coconut smell, they were like, oh shit, yeah. And they were like really riding high on that for a while, and that was a big development in the smell of making it not smell like chemicals, but I feel like the coconut smell still wasn't the perfect solution. Like
coconut and banana or whatever. Like,
yeah.
But then like sometimes you'll eat something that has those like artificial coconut or banana and it tastes like sunscreen to me.
Exactly. That's what the sunscreen smell ruined the artificial coconut flavor, which is fine because I like real coconut flavor. Just fine because it's not artificial tasting, but still.
Do you like coconut or does the texture throw you off?
No. I think I like coconut. I mean, I don't know. I've never eaten.
Very popular one for texture people.
I've never like eaten a fucking coconut, so I can't.
You've had like probably like shaved coconut.
Probably, yeah. Shaved coconut. Here's the thing. As weird as I am about texture, like orange juice with the pulp in it, totally fine with it.
Wow. Nice.
V8. If I'm drinking like a V8 and it's like pulpy though, no.
Like,
don't know why.
Texture doesn't bother me at all, but occasionally I'll be sipping on a pulpy glass of orange juice, and even I'm like, it's kind of weird.
Kind of too much. No, actually, well, here's the thing. I actually trained myself with pulpy orange juice because I do love orange juice, and I know that it's kind of bullshit unless you drink the form of it with the pulp. So I figured, like, fuck, I might as well. And then I tried it, and it wasn't honestly too bad. Like, I knew what I was drinking.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. I think a lot of it for me is when I get like an unexpected texture or something like that, my brain immediately jumps to like, what is that? What is that? And it's obviously food. But my brain still freaks out and I can't control that part of it. It just goes out of control.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think when I get that feeling with pulpy orange juice, it just takes me a second to like reevaluate and be like, okay, no, this is okay.
Yeah.
Continue on.
With orange juice, I mean, orange juice.
Oh no.
Yeah, orange juice just tastes so damn good that my body was more easily able to bridge that gap. But for a lot of things, like I can't turn that part. Like I can't like. I'll know in my head like that's just a tomato, but my brain still has something going on where it's just like spit it out, spit it out, spit it out.
The more sugar there is, the more you're willing to eat weird chunks. Is what you're saying?
I guess so. I was trained from childhood.
There you go.
Yeah. cover tomato in sugar, guys. That's the key.
Question: are there any foods that does your brain automatically write it off, or do you have not to always? I know I always make you go through this where I ask 1,000 questions about texture.
No, it's clearly an interesting topic, and I have no problem discussing it.
Are there any foods that you love but you just can't handle the texture, or does your body automatically be like, nope, this is a gross food, and then writes it off like that? Or are there any that you're like, I wish it didn't bother me because it tastes so good?
Onions.
Okay. Do you like them like cooked down or anything, or do you like them like fresh?
I like them like really diced up. Like I talked about this before, but I hate them when they're all wormy. Like, you know, they're just like slippery and bleh, like a.
You hate them when they are cooked down, then.
Yeah, I like them when they're like finely chopped up, and like, you know, you can cook them then. Like, yeah.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. But, you know, there's a lot of foods like not everyone prepares their onions that way, and that will really make me have a hard time with a meal if the onions are that way.
Yeah.
And I like onions. I like what onions add to a meal. I think that they're good. But yeah.
Well, you can either chop them way up and then cook them down until there's nothing left, or use onion powder.
That's true, but I feel like onion powder is just like flavored salt, right?
There's onion salt, but there's also onion powder.
Okay.
I think it's just like dried and ground up onion, I think is where it probably comes from.
But then does it have like any of the nutritional value that an onion might have? Like, does it lose any of its like beneficial acids?
I would imagine when you dehydrate and grind anything up, it probably loses a lot of that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Be my guess, but I don't know for sure. But if you're just looking to add the flavor, that's one workaround.
Yeah, but I don't know. I do as I like eat foods, I do start to think about, like, you know, does it taste good, but also like what is my body getting out of it?
Right. I love onion.
I love onions too. I just wish I loved them in every format.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so here's my Mick Jagger puking while playing baseball.
I love it. I think you're nailing it. I think you did a better job than Midjourney. Do you want to see the Midjourney results?
Maybe I am a computer. Yeah, I would love to see them.
Okay, yeah, I realized I never actually showed them off.
It's alright. It might be funnier this way.
I gotta do some scrolling. I'm still working on my Alien DJ, but I think it's going pretty well.
I'm liking it.
I did manage to...
Got like a full tentacle body thing.
Yeah.
Now, does this alien... Is that his head, or is he like one of those DJs that wear a mask?
He's one of those DJs that wears a mask. And that was the joke. So then I thought, like, well, I can't have him actually be it. I had to think about how to make it so that you could tell that was a mask, and so the tentacles were born from that sort of decision making.
Nice. I like it.
Thank you. I'm glad that you got the joke I was going for. That means I was successful in my attempt. Damn, people are fucking concocting shit so frequently on Midjourney.
Well, if it's gone, don't worry about it.
No, it's okay. I just found... Wow, that's a fucked up picture. Jesus. You know those clickers from Last of Us?
I do.
Somebody, like, figured out...
Monsters.
Yeah, somebody figured out a prompt that fucking just basically made that. But, like, it looked like a person. Alright, I think I'm just about at the... Okay, I found my alien, but I'm gonna get a little bit above the alien should be your prompt. There it is. Okay. 1 sec. So here's the thing. The Midjourney somehow just couldn't put together the throwing up part.
Robots don't understand baseball. Whoa. So, I love his face in those. Those are great.
The face is pretty spot on.
He's not throwing up.
No. I think those are all variations. Okay, this one's
he has a ball for a hand or arm.
Yeah, all these are actually the original results. They're all terrifying.
The bottom left one is going against TOS, I think.
That might be a little bit TOS.
What's happening there?
I don't know. But
taking a shit.
Clearly the one I found was all variations of the top right one.
Yeah.
And then they actually did go back and like get one of these upscaled all the way, but it, basically looks like it does. But that's that result.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Double Rocket says Korean sunscreen smells like nothing. So they've cracked it over there.
They figured. I think here's the thing. I think American companies would have no problem putting together a flavorless, smellless sunscreen. I think they think that the flavor is a benefit, is like a draw. Because that's like a selling point, I think. It's like, oh, it smells like coconut. And it's like, a lot of people are like, no, thank you.
It's kind of like when they're like, this medicine tastes like cherries. And you're like, no, it have you ever had a cherry, sir?
Yeah. It ends up taking
Full
like
of
what...
shit.
It ends up tasting like all the stuff that they say like black cherry things taste like. Because like a lot of people like
artificial cherry.
Yeah, black cherry flavors specifically. Like if it's like I've had a black cherry soda, and like the common complaint with it when I'm like, hey, if you want this black cherry soda, it's pretty good. Not that I'm like that anymore, but you know, when you're in high school and you don't have beer, you're like, check out this soda I got. But the black cherry soda, the frequent complaint was
adults that still like soda.
Yeah. It's true, especially if you don't drink alcohol. You probably drink soda more frequently. Not that that's true, but I don't know. I feel like you gotta have something in a can that you drink. It's gotta be something. But anyways, the freaking complaint with the black cherry soda was that it tasted like medicine.
Yeah, I think cherry gets that a lot. I think because I don't know. Has a very I don't know if it's difficult to get real cherry flavor, or if for some reason it just has an artificial like vibe to it when it's like, I don't know, turned to an ingredient. I don't know. Well,
I think like when they do artificial flavors of certain fruits, I think they all taste the same nowadays. Like the artificial flavors for specific like fruit flavors all taste the same, but because I think like on top of us like eating those fruits and having those fruits, I think like there's been a sort of standard for what the artificial flavor for this thing is, you know? Because like if you taste like an artificial banana flavor in one thing, it tastes like a fucking, what's the Mike and Ike's, or not the Mike and Ike's, the ones the
Runts.
Runts, thank you. Yeah, like a runt. If you take all of the artificial flavors of Runts, those are basically like the flavors I feel like I get in the artificial flavors in like Kool-Aid and, you know, anything else that has...
So there's like an expectation for what artificial cherry should be.
Yeah. And it's not exactly what they actually taste like.
Probably true.
Because like what? The banana artificial flavoring, would you say that shit tastes like a banana?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I like that artificial flavoring. Like,
as far as
artificial flavoring goes, that's one of the few that I'm like, not bad.
Yeah. Did you know that bananas used to taste different?
Yeah, right. It was like they had been kind of changed through.
Yeah, it was like like gene therapy and breeding and stuff like that. They like changed the bananas. I think it was because there was like some sort of pest that would like eat the bananas, and like they weren't able to like somehow like through that breeding process, I guess bananas lost like the flavor of the bananas at that time or something like that. So
the bananas used to be better or worse?
I don't know. That'd probably be a very subjective sort of thing.
Good point.
Maybe it was closer to what the banana artificial flavoring was, because shit, that was probably made around the same time.
In the future, it's going to be like all the fruits and vegetables are just going to be weird, like
yeah,
variations of what they used to be.
All the fruits and vegetables will have bred to be like the artificial flavoring now. Did you like Runts? Yeah. Real Runts fruits, made by the Wonka Corporation.
Eat them, and you too will be a runt.
That's right, you'll turn into fruits like in the commercials for Gobstoppers. Or not Gobstoppers, for
Fruit Gushers.
Gushers, that's right.
And I've had my finger on the button with all these references.
You really have.
Trash food.
Yo, Gushers are pretty... Gushers, okay, that's actually another candy I used to not like because of the texture thing. I don't like cream-filled donuts.
That's fair.
Can't do it. But Gushers, I didn't like at first, but I've come around. I think Gushers are dope now.
There was a lot of that weird, like, those 90s commercials where you eat the snack and then you get some weird body horror
Transformation.
situation.
Yeah, they were very into the body
That was a
horror.
good selling point. If you had Capri Sun, you turn into an Alex Mack pile of like mercury.
Yeah, you turn into Silver Surfer.
if you have a honeycomb cereal, you turn into a Tasmanian devil rat.
Yeah, called like the Freak or something like that, or like the. I told you about this, but I forgot an element of it that I didn't tell you, but is worse to say for the on the air, but I'm gonna say it anyways. But back in the day, I got that honeycomb cereal, and like it came with a disc in it for a free little video game that you could play for like 30 minutes and beat. And you would like raise one of those things so that it would defeat the evil one of those things and save Honeycomb World or whatever the fuck. And it was like you would basically do like a platforming puzzle. It was like 5 different like sort of mini games you would play, and as you did better in them, you would get further in the game, and then like finally you would do the final round and you would win. If I remember correctly, I think that's how it went. But if you didn't enter, you would have to name your creature, and if you didn't enter a name for your creature, the game would automatically change the creature's name to Spaz, which is a bad term. that's not a PC term.
Now, I think at the time it was...
At the time, it had a slang sort of connotation to it, like you just cut it out, Spaz. But
and maybe you could argue that it wasn't good then either, but I don't think people were meaning it in a hurtful way, or at least not most people at the time.
Well, no, but
yeah, it is not okay now.
Kind of the same as using the R word, you know, like
Gotcha.
I don't know.
I think at the... No, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but no, I agree with you. All I'm saying is that I think
it seemed less bad at the time.
Used as like a clinical term for a while.
It was, yeah. I mean, and so was like slow, but we don't use either because those eventually like they were used as the clinical term, and then people got a hold of those terms and then turned them into like the slang that like sort of just ended up like it wasn't supposed to be like. It wasn't supposed to be, but it still did because it's exactly what it was doing. Was it reflected poorly on the people who that term actually referred to?
Right.
And yeah, it's kind of like how people seem to like. I don't like how people use the term "triggered," like these days.
Right.
Because like, I'm not a person. I wouldn't consider myself a trauma sufferer myself. I don't think. I'm fortunate, I guess, in that way, but like that is a term that like I've known people who have trauma that, you know, did have its triggers, and like that's a term that like does have like a meaning, but like people use it like just to kind of say, oh, this makes me mad, and it's like, oh, this makes me triggered.
Oversimplifies this thing that's like a real problem for some people.
Yeah, like I remember one time somebody who I knew was like, you know, like they were talking about something and they were like, I hate to use this word, but like this thing is like legitimately triggering. And I was like, that sucks that you hate to use the word that actively describes the experience you're having. And it's like I don't like people using that word. I'm not a fan.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard you use that word that way, so I mean, good on you. I mean,
that's good.
Not like I'd like you any less if you did. I would just, you know, sort of. I would if I ever heard you use that word, I would have probably been like, hey man, I don't know.
Now I'm gonna accidentally say it now that
now that you have it in your head.
Somehow you've like inceptioned me to say some horrible shit.
Yeah, I've actually no. It's you will like if it's a word that you say normally. Like in your just your vernacular, if it's entered your lexicon, it is like one of those things where like once you're aware of not to say it, you might just end up saying it. But the best way to not have that problem, not use those fucking words. We've said that before about other things though, but like if you don't want to like say something offensive, then because like, you know, if there's people who are like, oh. Like people who like say the N-word in private and then like they have to like realize that they can't say it in public. Like you're gonna say it in public at one point because you've conditioned yourself to say that. You shouldn't have conditioned yourself to say it in private because you fucked yourself.
Why'd you make that your habit, Papa John?
Yeah.
Idiot.
You fucking dumbass.
Oops, I dropped it in a meeting.
Yeah. Oopsies. stupid shit. So yeah, you know, not that I thought you needed that lesson, but that is just something that, you know.
I feel like you have your finger on the pulse with that stuff sometimes more, so I'm always open to hearing it, because I'm like, oh, I didn't know.
I appreciate that.
That one I knew, but
that one you did know, and you know, you're pretty good about pretty much most of that stuff, or all of it. I mean, I feel like you're not a person who I feel like is bad at it or anything. You know, you say I'm good at it, but I think
if I do say anything wrong, it's not ever, you know. And I think it's true for a lot of people. Not my intention to hurt anybody. I just think it's good to be open to learning. If someone comes to you and it's like, hey, by the way, maybe don't say that. And think,
absolutely.
Oh, okay.
And you're very open to it, and I think that's the best. And like, you know, I feel weird being that guy to be like, hey, because I'm also a fucking cis white dude. Like, who am I to be like lecturing anybody? But I do hear things that are and aren't good, and you know, if I just basically try and give a heads up. Again, not like I think you particularly need teaching, because I think you're really good about it. But you know, I just try to let my friends know, like, hey, some people don't like this, I think. I don't know.
And you know, I think people can pick up on on the flip side, I think people can pick up on if you're trying to attack them or like high road them, or if you're just like legitimately trying to be like, hey,
yeah, just
so you know, not everybody might think that's cool that you said that. You know?
Yeah.
Trying to help you out of a potentially awkward situation you may have.
In the one Discord I was on, there was this person who would like show off their drawings of like these creatures, and this person does have certain disabilities that make it hard for them to socialize. Like they've talked about it, and I think you know, I don't know. That doesn't excuse any of what they do, but it does, you know, you kind of have to consider that when you talk about it. Ian, every time you try and say something, you dance around it with 4 or 5 disclaimers first. Yeah, I know, because when I start talking about this shit in particular, I have like to be like, God, what's the right way to phrase this delicate subject? Because I'm bad at that normally. Anyways, so this guy, he's got the thing. But anyways, draws these pictures, and they're pretty racist, some of them. Like, he's like, these are different characters, and then, like, some of them just look like racist caricatures. And so, on this Discord, somebody was like, hey, these are racist, you shouldn't draw these. No problem, but just wanted to let you know, you maybe don't know that these are racist, but these are definitely, like, classic racist caricatures. And the guy was like, no, they're not, because they're my drawings. And the person was like,
I'm not racist.
And I'm not, yeah, and the person was like, no, like, these have a historical, like, context.
Clearly gathered some inspiration from places.
Yeah.
Negative thing. Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then the person just basically got really mad and, like, argued about how, like, this was their creation, like, they're using their imagination, and it was, you know, they weren't being racist, and, like, everyone was just like, dude, just take the L and take the lesson. Take both L's. Take the loss, take the lesson. You know, don't draw this anymore. But the person freaked out, and then eventually, like, they kept doing it. Like, they would do these drawings.
Prove the point at that point.
I guess, yeah. And then, like, eventually they just, like, straight up in a voice chat, like, said something super racist, and then they got super banned from the server. And well, that's the last we heard of. That's not the last we heard of that person, slipped. Actually. Yeah. It was like, oh, it's not just an accidental drawing here and there, I guess, huh? But the funny thing is, I did do a, like, Society of Illustrators Zoom call with some people, and that guy ended up being in the Zoom call amongst, like, the 30 people, and I was like, oh no, it's that person. I wonder how this is gonna go. And you know, at the beginning of the Zoom call, everyone was encouraged to provide the link to their portfolio and their art stuff that they post on, just so that everyone could check out each other's stuff. And at the end of the meeting, or like somewhere in the middle of the meeting, in like the text that we were all posting the links in, that guy who it doesn't have any job, like these are like a lot of professionals who I don't know, but they were in the meeting. But they like work in the business, and they have like work that they've done, and the guy like types in the text like you know, I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff on people's portfolios that would make me want to hire them.
For what? Hire them for what?
Because he's always been looking for like people to do
like
his animation, like his dream animation. Yeah.
Personal project. Got it. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess anyone can hire someone. I don't know.
If you have like the money to like burn.
Yeah, I'm not trying to gatekeep that. I was just picturing like.
Oh yeah.
Usually when people talk that way, they're saying it from like, I have this position at a company.
Yeah, exactly. But no, this is just like a dude who's like and I'm not trying to like be mean about the art, but the drawings are not great because the person hasn't like practiced a lot of the fundamentals that I think they might need to sort of hit the style that they're trying to do. And so yeah, so you know, it's just, and it's not the thing you say to a bunch of like professionals who you're trying to sort of network with. Like that's not what you do.
Good first impression.
Yeah. So I just thought it was very, and again, this person has these sort of mental things that they deal with, so that makes it harder for them to sort of pick up on these cues that these aren't like the proper ways to do this stuff. So I don't know what the answer is. I don't. But don't do that.
Alright, I guess I won't.
Yeah, Jesus, man. How many times I gotta tell you?
I was the guy in the...
Yeah, it was him. This is actually how... I'm telling the story of how Brandon and I met.
And I'm still not impressed by your portfolio. In fact, I think you're the worst part of the show.
I am the worst part of the show. Confirmed by my dancing around the point I make every 4 or 5 minutes, or for 4 or 5 minutes before I say anything.
The running joke now is just that you're the worst part of the show.
Yeah. And here's the thing, I can hear myself doing it when I'm doing that, but then I'm already like the 4th or 5th like digression deep that I felt like I needed to tell to make my story have the context it needs, and then I'm like, it's too late. Now I have to like, I can't just stop and be like, you know what, never mind, let's go back to the story. Like someone's gonna be like, wait, what?
It might not be true for everybody, but for me, it's getting worse with age because it's happening to me too. I used to drive me crazy. Like my mom would try to tell me a story, not to, you know, blow up Carmen's spot here.
Well, you definitely just called her by her first name, so that's you blew her spot up extra.
Okay.
But
anyways,
tell us about Carmen.
Her stories take a long time. She needs to paint a full picture, including how the weather was that day, who she ran into on the journey to the destination where the story takes place. You know, what day of the week it was, what people were wearing, and then it adds a lot of detail that doesn't need to be there. And it always used to kind of like, you know, I love my mom, so like, it didn't actually like bother me, but it was just like, all right. And now I do it a lot. I'm fine, more and more, all the time.
Yep. I see myself in this picture and I don't like it, you know?
Yeah.
So I am aware of it when I do it, and I try not to do it. I literally dumped a guy because I cannot sit there and listen to it. That's very funny. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
It takes a lot. It's exhausting.
Yeah. You date who you have time for. But yeah, I do hear myself doing it when I do it, and I'm like, God damn it, this is what I've told myself to work on. But
you're not too bad, and in fact, you're not like, it's not that you're like adding unnecessary details. I think what she was mentioning is that you try to like cover your ass before you say something that could potentially be perceived wrong.
Yeah, I do that a lot because I say some dumb. Well, I talk a lot about like stuff that is hard, like I don't think people have the answers for anyway. So now I'm fucking throwing my hat in the ring, and I have no experience. Aside from just trying to be an empathetic person, I guess.
That's fair.
And yeah, and I mean, I think as long as we try and come at it with empathy, I don't think we're out of line speaking on these issues. But I think, you know, I do want to like sort of paraphrase, or I do want to preface usually with the knowledge I'm working with, because I think that also, like, you can come at something with empathy, but if you come without knowledge, you're still gonna be a very frustrating individual to have that conversation with.
Right.
Especially about like an issue that's real, that affects people, things like that. So that's why I always feel like I have to preface, because I want to like let people know, like, this is the knowledge I'm working with. I know who I am as a person, like with my experiences, and I know, and I'm just, you know, I just try and basically I want to put my cards on the table so that people know I'm just trying to be a nice guy. I really am. I'm just trying to be the nice. I'm just really trying to like let us all be friends, and I don't want anyone to feel excluded and sad, and that's my point of view. And,
you're the nicest part of DrawBomb.
Oh, thank you. That's not even true either. I'm like way more curt with the chat sometimes. Like if the chat's ever annoying me, I will just like be very frank with and like blunt with my answers, and you'll still be like, hey, so, or like if I'm like don't know what they're saying, I'll just be like, I don't know what you're saying. But you have a much more like you're a much more mother goose with everybody. And Leviathan Den's your mother goose. Leviathan Den's feeling the love in the chat, by the way. He says, I love everyone. I just want you all to know I love ya. Thank you, Leviathan Den. We love you too. We love all of you. We love our viewers. But yeah, so that's why I do all that prefacing, is because I feel like it's necessary.
Yeah, I feel you. I do it sometimes too. Just trying to.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about some sensitive subjects, perhaps. I'm not an expert, and if I do say something wrong, sorry in advance.
Yeah. And
I'm here to learn.
We're here to learn. And Izzy says, you're allowed to have feelings and opinions. Being a cis white guy doesn't mean you can't ever speak them. I agree, but what I am saying is that being a cis white guy, we are sitting from a seat of privilege, which means our, like, what... If you're a person who's, like, coming at it with that privilege and you haven't thought about, like, what the situation is fully enough, you can come at it very still, like, sort of rude, because you might come with absolutely no, like, perspective. Because,
I also
you know,
think... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, that's, I mean, I don't... Say what... I've said the point, I would just basically be, like, sort of, cycling around the same point, then.
I think, for a lot of us, cis white guys, society has kind of, like, culturally taught us that we know best, and I think we're all trying to like unwire that part of our brain. I think that's where the whole like mansplaining thing comes from, where like you're like, no, I got this, I can speak on everybody's behalf. So I think even the most like person that's like not that way still has it like wired in a little bit, and has to like actively like take a step back when you think maybe you know it, and you're like, well, actually, do I? Maybe I should let someone else speak and learn something instead of like stepping forward with the answer, because I'm supposed to know. So here's my opinion that everybody needs to hear.
Yeah, or you think that you're the best person to tell that answer. Like, you might have the answer, and you might think you have the answer, like, as a cis white guy. Like, just, you know, sometimes, like, you can say something that for somebody else, thinking that you know what their, like, point is, and, like, maybe I'm the best person who has the best words for it. This will finally break through, you know? Like, I think that happens a lot, too, I think.
Yeah.
People people think that they will frequently know the better way to sort of give information than the person trying to give the information, and then, you know, whether they wait their turn to say that or not, or to, you know, try and give their form of it, you know, that can depend on if they're being, you know, courteous or not. I don't know. Izzy says, yeah, saying something dumb is a chance to learn. More important that you're willing to do that. We're literally only here to listen to you talk. LMAO. Well, exactly the point. That's why we want to be right about it. If we are talking, if like the point of the show is for us to talk, like if we're like saying the wrong shit, that's like misinformation right there. That's why I want to be correct. That's why like I'm happy to be corrected if I'm like saying some weird conspiracy theory that I think that I read on the internet.
We have a responsibility to our 3 viewers to say the right thing.
That's right. We have a responsibility to our many fan. You know, we just, because also this is all being recorded and put on the internet, so if there's going to be a record of us saying shit, we want to make sure we're saying the right shit, because, you know, with the way the internet is, like, we're putting ourselves at risk putting these on like the internet in like video format that anyone can watch at any time. If I say some stupid shit about like a sensitive subject, like I'm putting up ammo to cancel me. Like that's what this whole show is ammo to cancel us every episode. So that's why I want to come correct. There's so many times we record an episode of this and I'm just like, God, what the fuck did I say?
I think I don't think you really cross the line hardly ever, but you're definitely like trying not to. I mean, you're like trying to be self-aware, but I don't think you like cross the line as much as you think you do.
I think you're right. I mean, I also have a lot of social anxiety and things like that, and so this show is like the worst exacerbator for social anxiety for me, because like I'm the kind of person who goes to a party, has a lovely conversation with somebody, goes home, and then like that night I lose sleep thinking like, God, did I say a dumb fucking thing during that conversation that went perfectly fine? So like DrawBomb is just like the recording of that that I can go back to and verify.
I feel that way, but usually only if there's like substances involved. If it's all me, then I can usually like have a pretty good record of what happened in my head. But if it was like a party where I was drinking or something, the next day I'm like, God, everyone fucking hates me now. And then like I get texts from people like, it was great to see you, I had a great time, and I'm like, they're lying, they fucking hate me.
I have the exact same thoughts, and especially when alcohol or a substance is involved. But even without, I still have that.
Yeah.
It's just the substance makes the fear that much sharper. I don't think I'm gonna draw any more of my alien, by the way, so I'm just gonna real quick post the mid-journey results.
Oh, nice.
But go ahead, what you were saying.
Oh, I like that.
It's a pretty decent results.
It is, yeah. I like all the neon in there.
Yeah.
Tried to add a little audience to your show.
I loved it. I think you nailed it. I was very happy with that addition. Anyway, so I'm gonna make we're gonna finish this scene now. I have an idea.
is Mick Jagger canon to this party?
Yeah, well, sort of. You'll see what I'm gonna do with it. Now it's in a picture frame. It's just a framed photo of Mick Jagger throwing up and playing baseball.
Beautiful. That'd be a great photo to put up in a club.
I agree, right?
Leviathan Den says, still feeling the love, says, I love DrawBomb. DrawBomb. DrawBomb.
Were those were not typos. Those were...
I mean, they were, but I don't know if they were intentional or not.
Right. I love
DrawBomb is the name of our VODs.
Yeah, exactly. That's after we finish the show and we upload them. It's DrawBomb.
And DrawBomb is
Go ahead.
Is our morning show.
What was that? DrawBomb?
DrawBomb is our morning show we do every morning.
That's right. Waking up in the morning with DrawBomb. DrawBomb is when we're actively live, because that is what we are doing, is draw. And then if you do the present participle, it is drawing bomb. Actually, that's just with the gerund. What's up?
I have a question for you.
What is that question?
Do you have anything to plug?
I have to plug the B-52s. Great band. They talk like this.
I hope that you mentioning them helps boost their numbers a little bit.
I know, they really need our audience.
Belbo Rocket says, are we off next week? It is the 4th of July.
Oh shit, is it really on a Monday? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's on a Monday. Probably because I'm going to be elsewhere, assuming that COVID leaves our house in time.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll just be hanging out here. We'll see. I'm still waiting to see if I get it or not.
Pre-COVID, did somebody say a pox on your house?
What?
Did somebody say like a pox on your house at some point, like before you got the COVID? Before
is that what causes people to get COVID?
It can't help.
Is that like a curse?
Yeah, maybe. I'm just asking. Just in case.
That didn't happen, but a man did sneeze into my mouth. And I think that's what set it all off.
As they do.
He didn't say a pox into your house, but he did say like it was like a sneeze noise.
That is
like achoo, I guess is how you'd write it, but
yeah,
it didn't exactly sound like achoo.
That's basically a pox. He's just doing the
monkey pox,
like a more visceral pox. Yeah.
Right.
I
guess it wouldn't make sense that he sneezed into my mouth because Morgan's the one who caught it.
Oh yeah, you're right. Well, no, but now you're gonna get it because of the man who coughed into your mouth.
Don't put that.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Evil on me.
Let's not put that out into the ether.
If I get it now, it's Ian's fault.
Yeah, that's right. If now I'm the guy who set a pox on your house.
Who did?
I've
You
said
unbox my house, please.
a pox off your house.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Things I have to plug. My album came out finally.
Sure did.
Yes. So pretty happy with that.
I've been listening to it. I had a long drive a little while, like, I don't know, a little less than a week ago, and I listened to it all during that. It was nice. How long is the album in total?
It's 2 hours and 12 minutes of music.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot.
Checks out then.
A lot of music. I just wanted that shit out there. I just wanted to fucking put it out there, leave it alone, move on with my life from those songs. And I'm happy to say that I do feel that way. So later on in the year, I'm probably gonna do one more release of old ass music, possibly 2 more if I can sort of I have like just a couple more of the songs that I want to sort of put out there that I've just been holding on to, and just because like the plan is that next year I want to move on to the next phase of my life where I just actually make songs with like, I want to try and do like vocals, like do the whole shebang, and just make like the next stage of music for me. And I figured this was a necessary step of just putting out the stuff I've made before.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a good move.
Yeah. And thank you. So yeah, this album's out. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think as an artist, it's easy to make a bunch of stuff and then just like put it away where nobody ever sees it. It's like,
yeah.
It's nice to put it out there, both for yourself and for other people to see.
Yeah, it feels good. I can point to, and like I can point to it and say like, hey, like I can tell people like, yeah, I make music, and they're like, oh really? Like where can I find you? I can be like, fucking everywhere. You like electronic beats?
You ever heard it? Yeah, it's your own fault.
Right, you can find that shit. So yeah, it's on like YouTube, it's on like the Spotify, it's on Tidal, it's on Pandora, it's on God, name one. It's not on any of the Russian music streaming services. That stopped when the Ukraine war started. So you know, if you were trying to listen on Vietnik
has a nice selection though.
Yeah, they do. Well, they used to. But yeah, so that's the stuff. It's on everywhere. I could give you the full list, but I won't. It's on Twitch too. Like apparently you can put my fucking songs in your Twitch videos. But hold on. I think we are streaming again.
It appears we are.
Okay, we're back. Sorry, folks. We had a slight I don't know why that happens. The internet just decides like, like a little hiccup. It's a little hiccup. Maybe somebody used the microwave. I don't know. But
are you? I think you might have gotten kicked out of the.
I did. I'm actually trying to rejoin it, but it's telling me that Top Cat Yo is already a name in use. So I'm gonna try and just do.
I was partially excited that I got kicked out because I thought it would save me the embarrassment of having nothing to plug for like this. I don't know how many weeks in a row.
You got nothing to plug?
Nothing to plug, baby.
Nothing to plug, folks.
I'm free from plugs. And gosh, you know.
You're like Neo.
Like there's a lot of weight off my shoulder. Yeah. Neo was free from plugs. That was kind of.
This is big journey.
It was a big journey. He unplugged himself. I'm like, you know, a band with the low electric bill. I'm unplugged.
What? That's a good joke. You nailed it that time, I think.
Thanks.
You're like an MTV album.
Right.
Plugged. But anyways, yeah. So you don't have any plugs because you're a failure. So let's move on with some me. No, I'm kidding. You are working on stuff though, right? Like you're yeah.
I have jobs, just not anything plug worthy, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, fair. Which I think is fair. I mean, it's
personal projects for people and like small businesses and things like that. I don't know. It'd be weird to plug, I think.
Yeah, unless somebody was in like the Grand Rapids area, which I think we know for a fact that nobody who's listening right now is in the Grand Rapids area.
Probably
Is that where that?
true. I don't know.
Is that where that one place is? I mean, you know, I know one of our users who commented the hot dog place.
Oh, yeah, that's here.
Okay. So yeah, so it's yeah, but you're working out though. At least people can at least know that you are doing drawings. You are working.
I am drawing things.
Good for you.
Like most recently, a rolling stone puking on the ground.
That's right, you did.
While playing America's favorite sport.
What a wonderful drawing this is. Let's all give thanks and pray to the Mick Jagger statue of him throwing up and playing baseball.
It's a shame that he missed. It would be pretty cool if you hit a ball so hard that it made you vomit.
Yeah.
Especially if it was like a home run or something. That'd be a cool moment.
I do appreciate that you wrote the whiff in there so that people would know he was missing. You're giving the full context of that picture.
It was hard to get all the... There's a lot of moving parts. There's trajectories of the vomit, the baseball, the bat, all happening at once, and it's a little muddied.
Yeah. It all becomes tough to... Like, first of all... It looks like the baseball is jumping up. I'm just gonna say that right now. That line. It looks like the baseball is jumping up from the ground.
That's fair. I was trying to think of a good way to draw it in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how you
apparently
would...
failed.
And you did fail. You fucked up, Brandon. You fucked, but honestly, this is more fun.
I'm the worst part of this show.
You're the worst part of the show. No, I'm still... I have to... That's like the only... That's the only, like, moniker
That's the
we
thing
have.
you're best at?
Yeah. I'm the best at ruining this shit. Somebody...
What's your DJ's name?
DJ ET.
Hey everybody, phone home! Ha! But just kidding, no phones allowed in the venue. I did put the signs up, you saw those. We will take
No flash
those.
photography! DJ ET in the house. DJ ET in the house trying to get to his house.
DJ Greyman.
DJ Greyman?
Isn't that like what they call the...
I think they call them like gray-headed aliens, or big green aliens. I think is a term sometimes. And now DJ ET's rival, DJ Mac and Me. About to blow up the grocery store. Yeah, there was something about gray, right? Like gray.
I thought so.
Gray
Yeah, they're
men.
called... In like cryptid speak, they're referred to as grays.
Gray's Anatomy is when you dissect one
Right.
of them.
I mean, this show's been going for like 19 seasons, so maybe it will be revealed that they're all aliens, or they're
That'd
like
be
on a spaceship or something.
Sick ending. Better ending than
I
Nurse
want to
Jackie.
show that went on way too long to just do something crazy to jump the shark like that. I mean, a lot of them do actually. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was all a dream. Anyways, the end. Haha, we wasted your time.
Ah,
The end.
suck my dick. You watched our show. But yeah, I would love to see that too. I'd be super okay with that. I've officially finished this drawing, by the way. It's done.
I like it.
Thank you.
Good work.
Good work to you too.
The strange painting in the background. I like to think since it's all aliens, maybe he's like part of a menagerie or something that's glass.
Yeah.
He's trying to break his way out.
That's it.
He's been abducted.
He's been hitting that baseball bat against that glass for millennia.
Yeah.
A fate worse than death.
The space sickness is making him
Yeah.
vomit. Anyways, I think
It's
on that
anti-gravity.
note, time to end this thing.
I think so. Let's put this one in a bag and mail it off to a charity. Like my hair, I will do eventually.
I have been printing these all off and mailing them off to charities. I've been getting a lot of letters back asking me to stop. But
Oh,
no,
really?
I'm just too generous for that, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not
obviously,
going to stop.
like a charity doesn't need to operate on a less is more thing. For a charity, a more is more. So just keep sending it. Well, they'll
Just more of everything?
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know
Put it
what
all.
to do with this, but...
Hey, These guys sent us wet bags of cement. Like, what are we supposed to do with this?
They sent us hair and drawings of Mick Jagger vomiting.
And playing baseball. What are we gonna do with this?
I've been writing them all off on my taxes, so
me
you know,
too.
it works out for me.
Every time we do an episode.
At very high. So, you know, I just take the monetary value and write it off on my taxes. It's charity.
Every episode, I just write $100 off for charity. Because this show is charity. We're truly bequeathing some.
We're doing what we can.
Yeah, this is for you. This is for all of you. This is our gift. On that
The
note,
IRS keeps calling me, but I don't answer.
Yeah, they keep sending people. I keep just hiding.
It's been working great so far.
Yeah,
Never gonna catch me.
They're very persistent, but not persistent enough.
Yeah. Funny how easily fooled they are by a fake mustache.
No.
I don't know.
And a wig, and a bra that I stuffed. Pillows.
Yeah.
Which is weird because the fake mustache, they makes them a little bit more confused by the ensemble. But I'm just like, don't judge.
I just take a fake mustache and put it over my already real mustache, and then suddenly they can't find me. They're really inefficient at tracking people down, it would seem.
I shaved my mustache and took that, put it on a piece of tape, and then glued that to my face. So it's my mustache.
We both shaved our mustaches, and then we send each other our mustaches in a bag, and then we paste them on.
And then he wears my mustache, and I wear his, and we fooled the IRS.
Exactly. Tax evasion!
I tell them I'm Brandon, and he tells me he's Ian.
Oh my god. Alright.
Alright, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye!
Bye! Oh, why did that cut off? So it's supposed to do a fade out. Let's try this again.
Well, because we weren't purple again.
We're not purple?
We weren't, no. When we came back, when
we came back.
Regular colors.
Right, because
we
were...
Are we Oh, I thought it was fading again. I got scared.
No, we were purple now.
Okay, now we're purple.
It wasn't purple before because we went off the air and I had to fix it.
Right.
I understand now. Okay. Weird shit. Confusing. But anyways, bye! The fade away is so important we had to go back and redo it.
Right. You can't
Totally
miss that
made
fade
sense.
away.
Yeah,
you can't miss the fade away.
It's weird if we just cut off.